Good morning. It's Monday, June 30th. This is my Sassafras bow that I fire hardened yesterday. I put buffalo horn tips on last night. You see after all my fire hardening videos that I take a wet rag, dripping wet, and I wipe the bow blank down. I wipe the bow down with a dripping wet rag, and I do it 3 times, okay? Now, you saw me yesterday in the pool. You probably said, this guy's a lunatic, but I dunked it in the pool, right? Because I was in the pool going in and out. It's really hot. It's going to be another hot day today. So you're probably wondering what the moisture content is in this. So let's check it out and see. We have 9% in the riser, and we have 7% in the limb. Actually 4.1 on this side. 7% on this side. So the moisture isn't that bad. The fire hardening keeps the majority of the moisture out. But when you're done cooking it, you have to hydrate it. You got to put some moisture back in. You want it to flex. You don't want to, like Keith Shannon says, a potato chip to tiller. So today's the day we're going to tiller this. And let me show you where my marks are for tillering today. Even from the center, we have our fade out marks, okay? 1 inch from the bottom of the string groove, we have a mark. And then I'm going to put a center mark. And the center mark will be from the riser mark to that 1 inch from the string groove. It'll be a center mark. Some people might wonder, why sassafras? Sassafras is a very light wood. I'm telling you, it feels almost like balsa wood. And it's not that great of a bow wood. It's not that great in tension, but what it is I have found this sapling that was fairly straight, and this time of year when the sap's flowing and the buds are out, you can peel off the cambium and have a pristine back. And just so you know, in the winter, if you cut one down in the winter, if you steam it in a steam tube, it has to be for a minimum of 1 hour and 15 minutes. And after that hour and 15 minutes, you can peel off that bark and cambium and have a pristine back again. And I think the success of making a boa knot out of this stuff is 2 things. One is having a pristine back, and the other, you have to micro tiller it. Take your time and use a yardstick. And the idea of this yardstick, that I'm going to put this up here and pull it down and use a yardstick, is that as we go down just a little bit below level, we're going to remove material until we get a perfect bend. And we're not going to go down another inch until we have a perfect bend. And what that does is, early on, it distributes the pressure evenly throughout the whole bow and on the belly. And also the back of the bow, you ignore any bumps or humps. You just pay attention to the bottom. And it works out. So we're going to try it and see if it's going to break, or we're going to make a bow today out of this lightweight balsa wood like sassafras bow. We keep the numbers away so you don't see the numbers as a distraction. We're putting the one end right on the bottom of that fade out mark, and the other end right here, an inch from the string groove, the bottom of the string groove. And what do we got here? We can look. We got a beautiful bend going here, and then over here, from here to here, it starts dipping. Now let's see what we got over here. And I have to actually draw a line here on the outside of this. To show where I got to take off material. Because the outer is not bending enough. Okay, and these marks, we have a long string, are just reference marks. So we're at the 16.5-inch mark just for reference. Okay, I'm going to take it down and try to remove those flat spots that jump out at you. Your idea is to get from the center to here, a mirror image, a beautiful bend. Just so you know, on this very soft wood, when you put your pencil marks down on the flat spots that you want to round, it'd be a good idea. Let's say this was the spot in between here that was flat. Take 60 grit sandpaper, start making strokes like this, and go wider and wider and wider and wider until you get that pencil mark erased. If you want to check it out, put another line and do it again. Okay, because I'm using a belt sander, and this is like balsa wood. You got to be super careful. You can make a mistake and ruin the bow in a minute. So 60 grit sandpaper when you're working on lighter woods. So let's see what we got here. Wow, look at that. I took the flat spot off, and we got a nice bend. There's just a little bit here, I would say. A little bit right here. Very little bit right here that I got to take off. But we got it to bend pretty good. Now over here, there was no bend on the outer. Let's see if we got anything bending on the outer here. Okay, we got progress. We got progress. We actually have a little bit of a space here. We got to remove some more though. All right, we need from here to here a big bend. And then we need overall to get it to bend. But from here to here, we got to start getting this to flex a little more. And the humidity's through the roof. We're having heavy thunderstorms late this afternoon into tomorrow. So let's see what we got here. Oh, we got a beautiful bend, except for right here. You can see it. I don't know. Hope you could see this on the camera. From here to here, we got a little bit. We got to take off a little low spot, a little hump there. Now this side here is the one that is always usually one limb you really have to work a little more harder on. And this is the one. Okay, so now that I have it bending a little bit. Now we could see a little better, clearer. And from here to here we got to take off. From here to here we got to take off. And obviously you can see that limb's bending a lot more. So what I do is I take off the flat spots, and then I'll try and overall start at the middle and work my way out to overall remove some material to get it to flex a little better. So I wouldn't bore you to death. You knew this limb needed to be bent more. Once I got it, the low spots, I had to bend it overall. So I took material from here, worked my way out, and I believe I got it bending even now. And there's something what's good about this yardstick method too when you're using soft woods. You're only going down an inch at a time. If you ever hear any crinkling or cracking or anything, you could stop and feel it back. And if there's a tiny little lift or something, you're able to stop, sand it, and you could always rawhide back it. That's an option, you know, or sinew back it. You know, before it blows apart, you go down an inch at a time. If you hear a little something, you check it out. A lot of times you can save that bow. All right, but we're going to keep going, hopefully right to a nice draw length. So let's check it out. Now the center mark comes into play. And this is a little rough, you know, trying to get it on the camera. 5/8. Now look, we got a nice bend going on. We finally got that nice bend going on. Now I'm having a hard time seeing in my old age here. We got 5/8. So you know what that means? We go down 1 more inch. And we're going to check it again. See if anything pops out at us. I don't really see any flat spots. I see a bend, a nice bend. We got a nice bend going on. Look at that. And we're going to go down another inch. And we're going to check it out. We're going to put the little ruler down. And we're looking for flat spots. Remember, this is a soft wood and we want to get it distributed, the bend, evenly. We don't want any pressure on any spot on this. We want it spread overall. Okay, we got an even bend. Go down another inch. Oh, I heard a crack. That's what I was talking about. I heard a crack. Now we're going to look. I heard a little creak, a little crack. And I don't really see anything, but that's not a good thing when you hear that little crack, that little creak. So let's check it out. And what I'm going to do is take this down. After I check it, I'm going to round all the edges and we're going to redo it again and see if anything happens. We have to go, let's see, just a little bit more. We could have put a string on it, but I don't like that little noise I heard. Let's check it out. We got a nice bend. We got a nice bend. We're going to stop. We're at that 20.5 reference mark. I'm going to round the edges, remark the limbs, and we're going to come back and revisit it. I rounded the edges, but that tick is never a good thing. So what I decided is, you can see there's still like the limb is a little twisted here, a little twisted there. You know, it's not a perfect back on the bow, but we're just paying attention to the belly. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue a little at a time, and if I'm lucky enough to catch a small lift, what we'll do is we'll change this video. I have rawhide inside. We'll show how to recover a bow that has a little lift with rawhide. But I got to be honest with you, once I hear that little tick tick, usually it's like a ticking time bomb. So let's just check this out one more time. Let's see how it's bending. You know, we got a nice bend going on. I see nothing that's really stands out. Like I said, don't pay attention to the back of the bow because this side's a little humpier in the back. And we got a perfect bend going on here too. I really don't see no real flat spots to speak of. But something tells me when I go down the next inch, something's going to happen. So let me put this down. And if something happens, we'll catch it on the camera. Let me try and get out of the way. Another inch, nothing happened. I feel no lifts. But like I said, that's a ticking time bomb. We're almost at the point where we could put a string on it. Got to go down a couple more inches. I don't know. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Let's give it another inch. I'm going to duck down so you can see. I heard nothing and I feel no lifts or rises yet. I got to add that yet. Like I said, that ticking is usually a ticking time bomb. I rounded the edges. And get out of the way, one more inch. There it goes. Let's see where it broke. It was where I least expected it. There was a knot on this limb here, and I guess that's where it let go. Like I said, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. That knot was the doom of the bow. So that's it. If you see it, I posted it. If not, it was a loss. So sometimes when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. In this case, I got 2 keychains. Okay. So anyway, I decided I'd post this video and show you. And like I said, with that's a real soft wood. And the only reason I decided to make another Sassafras bow because it was there in front of me and it looked like it would make a good bow. So anyway, the moral to this is when you hear that tick, if you want, you could stop. You could smooth it out a little bit. You could add rawhide. There's things you could do to save the bow if you want. But the Sassafras is really like a light balsa wood. So other than playing around or just practice making bows, choose a better bow wood, especially if you're just starting out. I love hickory. Hickory is my favorite wood. But I made bows out of everything. Eastern red cedar, sassafras, white oak, red oak, yellow birch, hop hornbeam, all kinds of woods. So choose a better bow wood. I would try, if you're just starting out, hickory. If you're near somewhere where you can get osage from a reputable person and it's aged, that's a great wood. But it's not available, and you got to watch. Be warned. Buyer be warned. Sometimes guys sell you garbage wood, wormholes, all kinds of stuff. Sometimes they just take your money and run. That happened to a bunch of us on the site. So thanks for watching. Every day you wake up is a great day. Make a bow. Don't get discouraged if it fails. It's a learning experience. Okay? So have a good day. Thanks for watching.